Hello and welcome. I am Matt Roddy, and this is the Greater Prescott podcast, where we talk about, you guessed it, all things Greater Prescott. In today's episode, I'm really excited to introduce to you Dylan and Chaiya. They're the soon-to-be owners of Arizona Cap Company. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
I met them via Instagram, like I meet a lot of people, and you guys were really excited to be on the podcast, which is normal, but then you actually scheduled it, so I'm really excited to have you guys. On this episode, you guys can expect to learn a little bit about their background, where they were born and raised, some of their business pursuits, and they're also soon to be officially new business, and just what you guys do, and also what is it about the Greater Prescott area that keeps you here? Because as you guys will learn, you've been here for a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive right in. Dylan, why don't you start and share just a little bit about, give us some about your history.
Sure. Yeah. So I was actually born in Prescott and lived here most of my life. A short period I lived out of state. Other than that, I returned here. I actually started working for this company when I was 17 years old. I had just gotten out of high school, and then I basically was just looking for work.
Yeah.
So through the years, I kind of moved up the ranks, became
Get just a little closer. Yeah.
Became a production manager for the company,
Okay.
and things came about as the company needed leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We took over running things, and now my wife and I run the place. So
Okay.
it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, I bet. Businesses are always a journey. So that at 17 you started here.
Yes.
How old are you now?
31.
Okay. Man, this is all you've ever known.
Yep. Pretty much never had a real job. A couple of jobs in high school, but
I don't know that I've had 17 jobs, but I've definitely had a handful.
He's a lifer here. I grew up here too. I was born down in the valley, and then soon after we moved up here to be closer to my mom's family, which was in Chino and Paulden at the time. And we kind of moved around. So I have experience in all this great area. So I've lived in Paulden and Chino and Prescott Valley. And so I've seen all of the amazing things that it has to offer. Yeah. So
diversity is always a word I use when I talk to people about this area.
Yeah.
This physical location is completely different than, well, the whole area.
Yeah.
It's such a neat thing.
Yeah.
You give us the difference between Paulden and Chino.
So Paulden, it's still developing. It's still in its, even from when I was a kid, my grandparents had a little homestead out there that we would go and we'd visit on the weekends, and it was still so small. I remember driving down the main road, and there was nothing out there, and we felt like we were driving for hours to get to their house.
Yeah.
And now they have tons of houses, but they're still, I believe they're still unincorporated.
Okay.
They have a little post office, and they have just a few little stores, but that's it. And it's still this growing perspective out there. Whereas Chino, it's agricultural. They know what they want, and they want to stay small. And it's a cute little town, and it's a nice place to get away. And you can definitely go out there and you see the cows and the goats
definitely
out in the fields, and it's a fun little town too.
Awesome.
And then you come into Prescott, and it's got all of the Prescott charm.
Exactly.
So, and then Prescott Valley is growing to be this metropolitan, and it's growing quickly, and they have it well planned out to be that, and they have from the very beginning. Yep. So yeah.
All right. How long have you guys been married?
6 years this October.
Good thing you knew.
October.
I didn't. I'm like,
I have to remember at least something about the anniversaries, otherwise I get in trouble.
So it will be 6 years?
Yeah.
Yep, it will be 6 years.
Okay.
But we were
Congratulations.
best friends for a couple years before then. We never actually officially dated.
You just sealed the deal by getting wed.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
So,
but you knew.
I knew. I was
Interesting.
comparing every guy I dated to him.
Oh.
And yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good position to be in.
Yes, that's on the right end of the continuum.
I didn't have to convince her a whole lot.
Where'd you guys go to high school?
I was actually homeschooled.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, I was Bradshaw Mountain High School here in Prescott Valley.
Okay.
So.
My wife and I homeschool our kids.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There's quite a big homeschool community up here, actually.
Yes, there is. It's really amazing how much it's grown since, I was a kid. So we tried to have a homeschool group when I was a kid, and there was maybe 5 kids there.
Yes, it's a lot easier to become a part of a co-op or something like that these days.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
almost 6 years. And tell us about your children.
we have 2. We have a girl and a boy, and Evelyn is 4. Atticus, he just turned 1 in February.
Okay.
So, and they are spunky.
Yeah.
So they definitely butt heads. They have strong personalities, and they both know what they want already. And it's interesting.
It's amazing how early they know what they want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you see them develop from little infants into little people that have minds of their own, and that's kind of a new experience when it's a first child.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had glimpses of our daughters as they grow. They're almost 6 and 3, and you'll see glimpses of the 15-year-old, and you're like, wow. There it is.
I swear, she thinks she's already 15. She asked if she could drive, and I told her she couldn't until she was 16. She goes, so I am 4, and then I'll be 16. I'm like, no.
Lucky for us, no.
Thank goodness.
So what do you guys like to do for fun?
Oh,
That's rough. There's not a lot of free time for fun.
Yeah.
we love being outdoors. We have a little homestead of our own.
Okay.
So we have goats and chickens, and we have 2 acres,
Nice.
and we love to, garden and be outside and, be in nature.
Yeah. Helps with a couple acres. I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
How many goats? How many chickens? What's the process to
So
get
yeah,
all that stuff?
we've got 7 goats.
Okay.
Three females and 3 boys. Or sorry, 4. We added new goats recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an addiction. Once you get a few, you have to grow. So we have the 4 girls and we have 3 boys.
Okay.
So, and then we have chickens and lots of them. So
Yeah. With the goats, do you milk them? I'm
one.
really new to the kind of the farm
Yeah.
things, but it's fascinating because I didn't grow up around it. But now that we're here, a lot of people have it.
yeah, it's a great lifestyle. We like it.
Our animals are American Alpine dairy goats, and we typically try to keep about 1 or 2 of them in milk. Right now, we've got the one girl that's milking, and she produces a lot.
Okay.
So we
Is
get
it
a lot.
twice a day that you would need to? How?
No, we're currently weaning her off.
Okay.
So she's only getting it once every other day.
Gotcha.
So but she's still producing quite a bit. She usually produces a gallon per milking, and that's with weaning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do with goat's milk?
Right now we're feeding it back to the baby. But usually we'd use it for, making our own soap or cheese and even drinking.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. This is fascinating. What's the process like to making soap or something else?
There's a lot of different recipes. You have to have a lot of different oils and fats to input with your milk, so that
Okay.
you have the right proteins. The milk you have to freeze, believe it or not, so that you can actually use it, because the lye will break down the milk really fast and it'll make it sour before you turn it into milk or soap.
Okay.
So you have to freeze it so that it doesn't turn sour. So yeah, and then it has to set. It has to dry out a lot of that lye before you can use it, or else you can get chemical burns.
Okay. It's that strong.
It's that strong.
Wow.
So, but I love using our soap. It's when you put all that much work into it, you milked the goat, you made the soap,
Sounds
and then
satisfying.
very satisfying.
Something amazing about making it yourself and using it.
And what else do you make?
Cheese, we've done cheese a couple times. I have a couple different recipes, but I like to, you got to tweak it and play with it until you find what you really like.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to make our own mozzarella soon. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you make mozzarella from any type of milk?
From what I understand, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you like making from goat's milk?
Honestly, I actually don't really like the taste of goat's milk.
Okay.
So, Kaya and our daughter
Yeah.
love it. Actually, Evelyn, for a period, that was all she would drink for
Okay.
milk. And so she would be weirded out when she would taste cow's milk, from the store.
Yeah.
So,
She asked what was wrong with it. We went to visit a friend of ours,
Yeah.
and we had breakfast at their house, and she's like, "What's the matter with the milk?" And I'm like, "It's just fine, honey. It just
Yeah.
comes from a cow." She goes,
Yeah, right.
they have
That's so
goat?
funny. Some perspective.
"Yes."
And then chickens laying eggs all the time. So
Laying eggs, they wean off. Obviously, they don't do as much during the winter, but we've had so much, we've been able to provide a lot during the shortage of eggs in the store to friends of
awesome.
ours.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
And they are better than the store.
And they're colorful.
They're beautiful
Yeah.
colored, actually.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this is really yellow. I don't even know the colors, but I mean it's rich.
Yeah. It's got far more protein in it because of what they can eat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you've been with the business 17 years. You told me how long?
Since we got married. So,
Okay.
Yep.
You came on board.
Right after. So
Okay.
I had applied to a couple different places and I was turned down because I was overqualified.
Yeah.
And so they said, yeah, you're just going to end up being an employee that leaves in a year to find something other that's more suitable for what you want to do. So I was turned down for several jobs. And then the previous owner, he's like, well, come and work for me. And it's been amazing
And here you
experience.
are.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, tell us about the company, when it started, what it does, and bring us up to speed on where you guys are at.
sure. So the company officially started in 1999. The owner at that time...
Scoot just a little
Yeah.
closer. Yep.
Yeah, started in 1999, and the owner at that time, he and his wife ran it basically just out of their home. Over the years, I think in about 2006, when they moved up here, shortly after that, I started working for them, and again, it was still out of the garage kind of thing.
Yeah.
A few years down the road from that, we were able to get into this building that we're in right now and get a lot more space for production. Since then, it's kind of gone in stages. And even since the owner passed away a couple years ago, we were able to bring in some new equipment,
Okay.
start new procedures, make efficiency better, and make it what it is today.
How did you... Do you just learn these things by being in the business? I mean, you started when you were 17.
Yeah.
You didn't have necessarily a business pedigree, or who knows what you even were setting out to do.
No, honestly, I just kind of learned everything I know under the mentorship of the owner at the time. And honestly, there's still a lot that I'm learning. You don't just learn everything by trying it for a couple of years, but you learn it as you go along. So that's a lot of what happened. And the business, primarily, we do embroidery and screen printing on apparel, custom decoration. So businesses or groups or people that want to have a batch of shirts or ball caps made with their logo or their family reunion or something on it, that's we were able to produce that. And it's kind of bridging the gap between a manufacturing setting and an artistic setting. We really get to play with design and making taking a vision that somebody has of a graphic on a piece of clothing and making it reality and making it amazing.
Yeah. I imagine it's one thing to... Every business has a logo, right? It's a lot different to actually take that logo, put it on a shirt, and make it look good. Make it look the way it's supposed to.
There's lots of editing that has to go into that. So somebody could come with an artwork piece and they're like, all right, I have this vision. This is going to be on a shirt. Yeah. Well, there's lots of little tweaking you have to change to it. Mm-hmm. If it has a lot of colors, you maybe have to simplify it so it actually looks good in print or on embroidery. Mm-hmm. So like your shirt you're wearing today, we can probably tell that's a CAD print, which is a vinyl application. Whereas that would be a very simple screen print. We wouldn't have to do much editing for that. But to put that in embroidery, we'd have to change the file type. And that takes a lot of editing within itself. And sometimes when you change a file from one thing to another, obviously you have threads that go in different directions. It thinks that, say you have a little crack in that and we take that and put it into the software, it thinks that that's a separate piece of the design with a different color. Yeah. So we'd have to go in and manually change that. Mm-hmm. So But we've tried to keep the core of the company the same, although we've changed a lot of things here and there to make more efficient. Like Stacy, the previous owner, he wanted no fees, no extra hidden fees, which is what we try to do. If you've ever had an experience where you go in and try to buy something and you're like, oh, and then there's a setup fee.
It's awful.
And you're like, okay, my $8 shirt now is $15. We try to take that away. We want it to be very transparent. And that's what I love to, every time I send out an email, I'm like, and this is the price. And they're like, all right, and what's the setup fee? I'm like, no. That's the price. Yeah. That's it.
Yep. So on that note, I think transparency is one of the most important things for a business to do, to be proactive and transparent.
Yeah. And that's what we really strive to do.
Yeah.
So we try to walk people through each step. So, and some people just want to, see it done, which is great. And we try to, make it easy on them. We always keep everyone's artwork on file. You don't have to, call us in and resend it in.
Right.
Anything like that.
Yeah.
One of the things about that I really, when I was younger especially, I'm still kind of not the most outgoing, boisterous person, but when I was younger especially, I had a hard time thinking of myself in a sales position. If I'm on the phone and I'm talking to a customer and telling them that they, this is the product they need and convince them that this is something they should do right now and that we're the right company to help them, I used to be really nervous about that. The thing that I've come to realize, though, is that if we do good quality work, we are not shady. We don't try to, hide fees from people. We don't try to spring new stuff on them. Then I don't have anything to be embarrassed about. We're helping people to find what they need, get good quality stuff, and to make their business or their group look good. Yep. And I love doing that now. There's nothing, I don't feel shy about it. I don't feel embarrassed or anything telling them, well, this is the price. Well, you know what? You like the product? I'll get you something good. And that's how it works.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
The development in this man, I could fill books. Yeah. He used to have anxiety answering the phone. He wouldn't answer the phone. He'd let it ring and go to voicemail, and then he would answer in an email.
Right?
And that was just
it's a lot easier to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So back in his early days when Stacy was trying to train him on the phone, and now not even a second ring. He tries to make sure that they are understood and worked out, and it's an amazing growth.
And an important growth as a business owner.
Yeah.
You'd be killing yourself. You wouldn't be sitting here in the state of mind that you're sitting here if you were letting that phone go to voicemail. No. But it also just partly comes from repetitions and just doing it and getting more used to it and more comfortable, getting better.
Exactly. And that's something that you can't just read in a book.
Not at all. So. I was at Prescott Dirt today.
Yeah.
We're getting some pavers. And I was talking to Daniel, the owner, and they have a very similar philosophy with how you buy things there. They've got semi-trucks. These things cost big money. I mean, it's a large operation. They love transparency and they hate hidden costs. And so he said, people often call us and let's just say the pallet's $200. Well, they can find it for $150. And he says, yeah, did you ask about the other fees? Because there's a delivery fee and all this stuff. And he's like, we just front load it. That's our cost. There's nothing else going to pop up. And even if it costs me a little more, I just love the transparency.
Yeah. I've done research for a couple of yard projects through them too. And I'm like, yep. And it says right here, it's all plain text. So.
And then you can return your pallets for $15 each.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So, and we've got 7 to return whenever we get loaded up.
Yeah.
But they just front load that cost.
That's awesome. Yeah.
This machine behind us is one of the coolest looking machines ever. So tell us about it.
All right. So this machine right here is an industrial embroidery machine by Tajima. It is manufactured, I believe it's actually manufactured in Japan. It is a Japanese company. And they're one of the premier industrial sewing machine companies in the world. We've been using those as long as I've worked here. And one of the really nice features, they're designed for mass production on large scale where, say in any given embroidery design, you may have multiple elements that are different colors. So you may have 5, 6, 7, sometimes even 10 different colors in a design. this machine is programmed to have each color sew on each different needle. The heads here have 15 different needles on them, and they move from one needle to the other as it sews the design for the appropriate color for that area. It's also capable of running 8 pieces simultaneously on each head as it goes along.
It's big.
It's sweet. If you like machines at all, this thing is, and all the thread, is that just spare thread back there?
Oh yeah, that's our extra colors because obviously it's all custom. So if somebody wants something that's a little more yellow or a little,
you can get that.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Hundreds of colors.
I think we have about 180 colors of thread.
Oh my gosh.
We keep on
on
the shelves.
And you can kind of see in the back right behind my head is one of our tube storages so that the thread doesn't get too worn down just by sitting in a box. And so we have a couple of those sitting around the shop to preserve the threads. And it's nice because you can kind of see every color really easily.
It's awesome.
So, yeah.
You have another machine that people won't see on camera, but it's a massive looking spider-like thing that if you love machines, it's also amazing looking. So you told me a little bit about it, but tell everyone.
It's an automatic screen printer. So it's what would be done on a shirt. So screen printing traditionally, in the past you would manually have somebody pressing down on this squeegee to push the ink through a screen. Well, that machine does it all by itself. We don't need the person to sit there and manually push the ink through. They just have to put the shirts on and off. And you have your program that you work with on the machine, that you program it to have the specific time that it pushes down, how much pressure, the duration of the squeezy length even. So, you can do, how many colors can we put on that one?
Yeah, let's talk numbers.
That one's capable with its configuration right now about 5 colors.
Okay.
You can get those machines. I mean, I think they make them as much as like 18 different stations so that you can have 10, 15 colors running at the same time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's some insane stuff out there for the right setup, for the right stuff,
Yeah. As far as production goes, how fast, or like what's the kind of a quantity thing on something like this for some hats?
Yeah, so I would estimate on the embroidery machine right here, it runs 8 simultaneously, and it depends on the size of the logo and how many stitches, but it's going to be, I would estimate, somewhere around 10 minutes for a set.
Okay.
It could be more than that depending on some other things as well, but 10 minutes for 8 pieces, what is that in an hour? 6, 8, 24...
Yeah.
I don't even know. That's like 96 pieces, almost 100 in an hour, something like that. Okay. So it's possible to put through a lot of stuff on that.
Yeah. What about the T-shirt maker back there?
200 an hour,
depending.
It's lock and load.
Yeah.
Wow.
Typically, we have obviously a little smaller of jobs than 200 that pump through here pretty regularly, but we do get those bigger jobs that have 200 plus pieces that need to be cranked out quickly. So, and usually it only takes 1 or 2 guys to, sit there, put the shirts on and off, depending on how big of a speed we need, how fast it needs to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a lot of teamwork involved in it. You can put one person on each machine or have as many people as you need on it. So depending on how fast you need it done.
The workload you need and things like that. How, you said you have 4 employees earlier.
Is it 4?
That kind of, they may not all work.
Other than us, yes.
Yes.
4 employees.
That is what I meant. Okay.
Yep. We have a production manager. And then we have our 3 our 3 people who do production. So,
How'd the business start?
That's a really good question.
Okay.
How did Stacy start it? He was doing
he used to run a screen printing company for someone else, right?
Yes.
I think so.
But the way he started with that was, I believe he was doing computer work for the person who was running the screen printing company. And then the guy's like, well, I like you and I needed somebody to help with the production management. Come and work for me.
Yep.
And so Stacy went and worked for him, and then he realized he could be doing it.
I could do this. Yeah. Exactly. That's how a lot of business owners start, frankly.
Yes. So, and slowly it developed over time. The reason our name is Arizona Cap Company is because he only wanted to do hats.
Okay.
That lasted for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So t-shirts are the way to go.
I was going to say t-shirts are the bread and butter.
Exactly. So
Well, what all do you guys tell people what you do here? Like, what can they acquire from you?
hats, shirts, polos. We do aprons for one company. Oh yeah. We do all kinds of things. Anything that can be embroidered, we can embroider. So
Okay.
yeah, we've done embroidery on lawn chairs for people.
Wow.
Yeah. So if it can fit on the machine and it won't break our
can do
machine,
it.
we'll do it.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, so typically we typically only will embroider on products that we can get from our suppliers, but
Makes
the
sense.
varieties are so vast. Like Chaiya was saying, there's chairs, backpacks, tote bags, all kinds of stuff. Anything in those kinds of genres.
Okay.
Even some like scarves and things like that.
yeah.
So
And you can get a variety of any kind of brand too. We have access to things like Next Level and Ogeo and Nike that we provide for people. And then there's other people, I just want to give them a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're here for. We have hundreds of brands and products that we can choose from, and a variety of, styles that are inside of those brands.
How
too.
does someone, so let's just say someone needs a t-shirt.
Well,
Where do you even begin?
we ask them what they need it for. Because obviously, somebody who's going to do landscaping is going to need something different than somebody who needs a promotional shirt. Or for an event.
Yep.
So some people who want it for an event will want something a little lighter weight, a little more trendy.
Yep. Okay.
Whereas landscapers, they'd want something durable, long sleeve, even
Absolutely.
safety colored.
Yep.
So
yeah, one of the things that we try to do a lot for our customers is help them to find the right product. That's one of those things. We have a website where people can go and sort through all the products, but to be honest, there's hundreds of products listed, and it can be difficult. And a lot of, especially our existing customers know, just shoot us an email, say, hey, I need some shirts for this, and myself or someone else in the office can look up different things,
Narrow it down at the very least.
And we'll know the questions to ask. Is this for what type of event? This is, do you want something in this kind of a color? Are you worried about being in the sun? All these kinds of things that help us to narrow it down. We try to give it a little bit of that personal touch, because anybody could find a website and look through a list of 100 t-shirts and not tell you a thing that's different about them.
Right. Yeah. And you guys know.
we know we've handled so many products over our time, and we can look at, the content of it and the little description. I'm like, I know exactly how this would feel. And
Exactly.
I've never touched that t-shirt.
It's because you guys are that t-shirt experts.
We'd hope so.
It just comes with experience.
No, exactly.
The number of times you've touched it, looked at it, read about it, you just figure it out.
It's like that no matter what you do. If you've been doing it for any length of time, you can spot things.
Exactly.
I can spot a video from a mile away. I'm like, they did this or they did that. And this is what they're doing for marketing. It's not rocket science, but it just takes time and learning.
Exactly. So
You guys touched on it earlier, and I want you to touch on it one more time. Why do you do what you do?
Well, personally, I love. I'm one of those people who has to be able to do a little bit of everything. I majored in art, and I love dealing with the art. And then I love to, all right, I'm a little bored with this. Maybe I'm a little ADHD. I'm gonna go out and make sure the boys are doing good on production. Can I help you? Can I help sort your shirts? What do you need help with? Can I get you something? Getting the files that they need, helping, management. It's a little bit of everything. I love having my fingers in everything, but I don't like to micromanage anybody either. So, yeah.
What about you?
That's something that I never really thought about it a whole lot. A lot of it has to do with, I started out just kind of, it was a job.
Right.
It was something I was straight out of high school. But one of the things that I really have enjoyed over the years, and I think is a big part of why I've wanted to take over and run everything, is that it gives me an opportunity to be, in a way, part of a community. I don't know how to say it, a constructive part of a group. When I have customers that rely on us, people that I can go above and beyond and I can make it work for them, I can find the right things for our customers and be the dependable company that gets their stuff to them. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about it. And again, like Chaiya was saying, I enjoy the art as well.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't study art a whole lot growing up, but being able to create things
I was going to say create.
is that's in my soul. So
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys have a really fun way to do that. I mean, the fact that you make these types of products is just, it's really cool. Like, it genuinely brings people happiness
Oh yeah.
when they wear something that they think looks good.
It's really cool working through from the very start. There's been customers where they come in, they're like, all right, I have this bit of clip art and I have my logo here and I kind of want to change it. And you help them develop their logo to a brand. And then you put that brand on a shirt and you're holding it and you're like, I made this.
Yeah.
And you bring it to them and they're just as excited as you are. So
Our clothing, for most people, clothing is somewhat important.
absolutely.
Right?
You know, if it doesn't feel right to you, if it doesn't look right, you're not going to wear it.
I don't. I'm also tall and skinny, so there's not that many things that fit me just right. And so I literally own, before I came over here, I counted. So I was just curious. I own 17 polo shirts. They're all the same brand because they fit me well.
Yeah.
And they're affordable.
Yeah, exactly. So, and obviously you know what you like. So going in through and helping me with a logo would be so simple because you already know you like that feel.
Yeah.
You need it for a taller person and you're a skinnier guy too. So
Exactly.
it can't be baggy. You have to have those tall styles.
Can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
You guys have been in the Prescott area for quite a while. What is it about this area that you guys enjoy and what keeps you here?
You know, I think that a couple of things, my family lives here, and that's one of the things. I'm a lot more of a comfortable with what I'm comfortable with kind of person. So that is a big draw for me. Another thing, I've grown to love the nature, the fact that you can go drive 10 minutes and you're in massive ponderosa pine forests. And I mean, that's something that we still do on a fairly regular basis. When we need to get out, we go into the woods.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts.
Amazing.
Yeah. For me, I lived in Maryland for my college years, and I would never go back. I hate the humidity.
I actually spent a summer in New Jersey. Almost identical experience.
Oh, yeah. I've been up to New Jersey. Oh, yeah. Never. It's great to visit. I would never live there.
Great to visit.
Oh, and I like the dry heat. I didn't grow up with air conditioning, to be honest. We didn't have air conditioning growing up, and I hated having to use air conditioning back there. And you can tell I'm wearing a polo or in a hoodie. And
It's the middle of June.
I am. I run cold all the time. So they turn on the air conditioning in there and I'm sitting at the computer. I pull down my sleeves and
Freezing.
zip it up because I can't handle it. And I'm like, if I live anywhere colder, I would die. I would rather go south and closer to the border where it's hot than go north and be frozen.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, again, the forests, we love it. And I love the lakes. So, and being able to go, honestly, Willow Lake is one of my favorite places. Okay. And we love to go kayaking and take our kids there and try to keep our kids out of the lake.
Yeah, right.
But it's beautiful. And you can be in so many different places in this town and have a totally different look.
Yep.
So it just depends on your mood.
I agree. Yeah, where their shop is right now is not where it will be soon once they move. But we're in the foothills. How would you describe it? I guess the foothills off of Old Black Canyon Highway.
Yep.
It's completely different here than driving 10 minutes down the road.
Yep, you've got brush and you have manzanita and that's
I imagine there's bobcat here.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's
javelinas come through all the time.
Spotting a deer out the window while you're working, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna kind of miss that.
Yeah. I just drive to the Pines or go up to. Oh, what is it about Willow that you really like?
Honestly, less people.
Yeah. So, as opposed to Watson or Lynx.
Yep, there's less people, so I can actually relax and not have to worry as much about where my kids are and if they're disturbing other people. It's nice to just sit back and relax and yeah.
Do you guys get out and camp?
We love camping. Honestly, we haven't been in the last year because we're busy.
You also have a really you've had a baby in the house.
Yeah,
That
we've had a
doesn't,
baby.
that makes everything more challenging.
Yeah, life gets complicated. We still love taking. I remember our daughter taking her out camping when she was she 1 year old? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. When she was one, we took her out camping, and
she slept with us most of the time anyway. She was one of those clingier babies. She didn't like to be touched, but she needed to be near.
Yep.
So she just crawled into the tent with us and laid right next to us, and it wasn't a problem, and it was so enjoyable. We loved it, and we have tents and everything. And I just told him this morning, I'm like, we need to plan a trip,
Right?
to go camping.
Just get it on the schedule.
yeah, calendar.
About 4 days ago, we booked a weekend July camping trip.
Oh, nice.
Just for Lynx Lake area. But that's kind of how we are too. I mean, we're busy. We got 4 kids.
Schedule.
Get it on the calendar.
Exactly.
Because every time we go, it's the best.
Yeah, it's revitalizing.
It is.
Yeah.
We need it.
We
So
do.
I encourage you guys. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Even with a 15-month-old in the house.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Well, he wouldn't want to come back inside. So once he knew he would be allowed to sleep outside, he probably wouldn't want to come back in.
Oh, funny.
From the day he wakes up, he grabs his
awesome.
shoes, he wants to go outside.
Just get him out.
Yeah.
At least he wears shoes.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up, and I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and you have to answer quickly because that's the fun of it. So just whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Here we go. What is your favorite thing about the greater Prescott area?
I love downtown.
The rocks, Granite Dells, all that stuff.
What's your favorite restaurant in the greater Prescott area?
We like cheese.
Cheese.
Or I'm sure we butcher the pronunciation of it, but it's downtown Chinese restaurant right on Cortez. Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah, on
Cortez.
Cortez. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the number one thing on your greater Prescott bucket list?
So we've joked about this for a long time.
Oh, good.
Can we be frank?
Please do.
Okay.
Yes.
We've joked since we were teenagers. We want to go up the mountain to the P and pee on the P.
Oh, hilarious.
So, yeah.
I
It's
love
always
it.
been a joke of ours.
I didn't know you could hike to it, but obviously it makes sense that
I'm
had
not
friends.
sure how
Somehow
you get there,
get
but
up
I've heard
there.
of people doing it. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe
There
not
we
to pee
go.
on it, but
Probably not. Hopefully not.
What are 3 words that you guys would describe for the greater Prescott area?
community. There's lots of people who, you can find a community no matter what kind of person you are. There are so many diverse people here that you will find like-minded people.
Thinking friendly. I mean, it's one of those communities that whether it's, a retired gentleman or young people, in general, it's a friendly place. It's a place that people feel comfortable. And there's not a lot of just, negative feelings and going around on the street kind of thing.
I agree. Very friendly.
I'd say laid back too. Yeah.
If you weren't running an apparel company, what would you be doing?
I think I would be working as a network administrator somewhere.
That's a funny thing. He's Cisco Network certified.
Oh, funny.
I'm a certified life coach, and
Oh, no kidding.
yeah. So
I just entered my last podcast was with
saw
Tim
bits of
Demi,
it.
and he's
Yeah.
a life coach. So I love that.
yeah,
That's awesome. Do you get to do any of it on the side?
some of it, yes. I
Okay.
have specific people who have
Yeah.
come to me in the. I had a practice for a little while.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah,
I-
you really did it.
I stopped it for honestly paperwork reasons.
Yeah.
So I'd have to get there, set everything up, do all the paperwork, and then they'd come in and then do more paperwork. So our daughter was living with my, practically with his mother to, or
So it could
his
happen.
godmother, so I could, do it. And I'm like, that's not why I became this, and that's not why I became a mom. So,
Yep.
but I'd probably be doing that actively.
That's fun.
So,
Last question. What is your favorite summer activity in the greater Prescott area?
we kind of kayaking.
Yeah, that's
Hiking.
my answer too.
So,
Do you guys have kayaks?
no, we are terrible moochers.
We have lots of friends who do.
Oh, okay.
So we
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of just send the text message around, hey, who's
No,
got a
you're
kayak?
good moochers.
Yeah.
You're really good moochers. Depends how you look at it.
Skillful.
Yes.
Resourceful.
There you go.
Resourceful.
Well, really, not everyone needs a kayak because most of the time someone's not using their kayak.
Not using it every weekend, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, our daughter's asked a couple times if we could buy her own kayak, and I told her that maybe that could be a goal of hers this year, that we could get her own kayak.
That's brave.
There,
As you parents.
will, yeah. You know, it's one of those. Sure, maybe.
When you're 16.
Yeah.
That's next year, right?
Yeah. You guys, this is what I love about where we live. There's just a lot of unique people doing. You probably wouldn't have guessed
In the back.
that someone in our town does things like this.
Yeah, in the backwoods of Prescott.
It is backwoods, but it's just fun. It's fun because you guys love the area. You've been here and you are a part of the community, and this is what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add? Oh, let people know how they can get in touch with you.
So we have a website, Arizona Cap Company? No, Arizona Cap.
ArizonaCap.com.
Okay.
We just redid our entire website, so there's now also a design studio, so people can go on and play on it too.
Oh, fun.
They can upload their own artwork or find artwork online and put it on t-shirts and see what it might look like. Okay. Obviously, there's more editing that happens between there, but
of course.
But it's there for everyone to see that. Or you could email us at info@arizonacap.com. And with any questions, we welcome it. I'm on the email, Dylan's on the email, and our production manager is as well, answering all the questions that come in. So
I imagine that's where a lot of conversation start is. I think I need this or that, and I don't know what to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So, or even if you're on the next step, you can even place your order online, and and we would call you.
Gotcha.
And do it right then. So, and our phone number also is 928-636-7643.
And I will put it up there.
Awesome.
You guys, I hope you learned something new, something fun, and it may have sparked you to book a camping trip as well. Yes. Not just you guys, but you guys too. It's just great to get out. And within 30 minutes, you can get to a ton of campsites. I mean, we're going to Lynx Lake. Like, it's 15 minutes from our house.
Easily. Yeah. There's up Mingus too. You can just drive up there, and there's great places.
Kind of like if you were going over to Jerome.
Yep.
Okay.
You could just turn off to the right or left once you hit the peak, and there's tons of places to do there.
Yes. Yeah. I love the outdoors here. Yeah. That's one of the reasons we moved here.
Exactly.
It's just so much outdoors. Yeah. You guys, thank you very much for sharing some about your business. And if you guys need anything apparel related, shoot them a message. Give them a phone call. Ask them questions.
We're happy to help.
They're a great resource.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys very much for watching.